Today I want to talk about what I call the twin flame path of evolution. Because to me, finding a twin flame is one of those ways our soul can choose to evolve. We may have chosen in a past life to evolve by being a monk, retiring from the worldly noise and going to a monastery to connect with our soul, with God. We may have done that in another lifetime. But if we have chosen in this lifetime to find a twin flame, to find our same soul in another body, because that's what a twin flame is, and feel that push and pull, to me, we have chosen to evolve through love. Which, if we think about it, it's like, oh, that's so beautiful, right? But the people that have been on this path know how hard it is, because since it is the same soul, we're gonna feel that push and pull. There's like a pull from that soul, from our soul, to like come back together. But at the same time, there's a fear of getting lost on the other person. So it's like a natural response to want to get away. So it can become something really painful. Who has experienced this definitely knows what I'm talking about. And I think that since it's something so strong that we can hardly explain with our mind, that usually brings us to search for answers. And on that search, that usually brings us to like find spiritual practices, to find healing practices, because what we're feeling is so overwhelming. And at least on my path, I have experienced many like supernatural things or experiences with my twin flame. So things that are irrational, so hard to explain with the mind, that you really have to search for answers. That is not the regular stuff you would find anywhere. So that search usually brings us to metaphysics, to spiritual practices, to healing practices, and that makes us grow. That makes us like open our eyes to our new world. And that's why, to me, this is a spiritual path. It is a path of evolution, because it connects us with our soul. And if we understand what this is about, to me, this is a journey to ourselves. It's like a journey back to me, to remembering who am I, why am I here, what's the purpose of all of this. So if we do that search, if we do not get lost on the other person, because that's something I have seen, that many people on this path may get lost on the other person. They do not understand that this is about growing up, about evolving, and they get lost on the other person, on wanting to be together with that person, and in suffering. If we are on that point of view where we think that the purpose of finding a twin flame is to be with that person, to be together, there may be a lot of suffering in that point of view. And to me, it is because that's not the purpose. The purpose is to evolve. The purpose is to see what I have to heal, to what do I need to learn. The twin flame is like a magnifying glass. It's like a magnifying glass, like it shows you all those things you didn't see before. And also things that maybe you experienced before, but when you experience it with the twin flame, it's so much bigger. Like, for example, if someone was abandoned, it may have hurt, but if the twin flame abandons you, is huge, is such a big pain that you cannot ignore it anymore. So this connection to this person is like it makes you that you cannot ignore things anymore. So you have to really search, you have to do your work. Usually people on this path surrender to something higher because they cannot explain what's going on. And to me, that's what a spiritual path is, what a evolution path is. So I think that when you understand this and you can make that switch, that the purpose is not to be together with that person. The purpose is to evolve and return to you. It's a journey back to yourself. If you can understand this, then you can let go of all that suffering. It's like you can focus on what you have to do, on your healing process. You can focus on yourself, on what this person is showing me. What beliefs do I have that I have to let go of because they're not serving me? For example, one of those beliefs, I think the belief that I need to be with the twin flame, that the twin flame is my perfect mate. To me, that's one of those beliefs we have to get rid of. And that doesn't mean that I don't believe that you can be with a twin flame. I think you can be with a twin flame if that's what your soul shows. If there's something there to learn by being together with that person. But if you, for example, in another lifetime could not accept that you couldn't be with your twin flame, let's say you killed yourself because you couldn't be with that person, then on this lifetime you have to learn to be happy without your twin flame. You have to learn to open up that to other loves. It's like, how can I be happy without my twin flame since I couldn't make it in another lifetime? I don't know if you understand this. So it depends. It depends on I think every person's experience is different because it depends of what you have to learn, what you have what you didn't learn in another lifetime that you have to learn on this one, what your ancestors didn't learn that you have to learn because that was a topic that wasn't passed, like an exam that wasn't passed. So I'm not saying that at the end you are not going to be together with your twin flame or not. I'm not saying that. I just want you to focus on the evolution part of this experience. That's the purpose. Focus on yourself. Focus on your process. Focus on what you have to learn, what you have to heal, what you have to understand. Focus on loving yourself, because I think the twin flame also shows us that unconditional love that maybe we are not giving ourselves because we have been taught that loving yourself is not humble, is selfish, and you cannot love yourself. That's wrong. I think that was programmed on us for a long time. So all that love that you cannot give yourself, you give to you by loving your twin flame, because it is the same soul. So you think you love your twin flame, but you really love yourself because it is the same soul. So it's like understanding that you have to return that love to yourself, to give that love to yourself. Stop expecting it to come from the other person to you because you cannot give it to yourself. So there's so much to learn on this path. So much about relationships, about love, so much healing. And that's why this is a path of evolution. I think there are many experiences on this, on life, on earth, that are evolution path. Like, for example, illness is one of those paths of evolution. If the person does the work, can change their mind, can change the way they handle their emotions, can go to the roots of the illness and grow. Of course, somebody can get lost on the illness, on how unlucky I am that I'm ill, and get lost on that. The same as somebody can get lost on the twin flame path, thinking that it is because we are meant for each other, we have met because of that, and not do the work and get lost and not achieve the purpose of the soul. So in any path of evolution, we can like get stranded or do the work, right? Or do what we came to do. So that's why I'm doing this video, because it's very important to understand this and do the work. We're gonna feel so much better when you work on yourself, when you do the work, when you look beyond, open your mind to understand what your soul wants you to learn through this. When you can look at the situation through your soul's eyes, everything changes. Because if we see the situation from the point of view of the ego or our material self, then it's like, oh, we have to be together, we have found each other to be together, and why aren't we together? Life is so cruel, God is so cruel, the universe is so cruel. That may be very, very typical. Because from this perspective, that would be like very cruel. We have found each other and we cannot be together. What's wrong with the universe that's doing this to me? Actually, that would be one of those issues that you have to heal. You would have to heal your beliefs about life being unfair, about God being unfair. That would be something you have to look on if you have had those thoughts about this. But if you place yourself on looking from your soul's eyes, you will see that there's this purpose of evolution. And you can do it by if you close your eyes and you ask, I want to see this. How can I see this from my soul's eyes? Or if you ask the question, how would it be if I could see this situation from my soul's eyes? If I make that question and I do not try to answer it, I just let it go and let the universe answer it, you will be answered. You will receive that answer. You will receive what your soul wants to achieve on you through this situation. And when you see it from the perspective of your soul, everything changes. Everything. It's completely different. It's a whole new way of looking at this. So I invite you to do this. I invite you to try to change your perspective, your point of view. Try to look at this situation from your soul's eyes, and also to change, make that switch. Stop thinking that I have found my twin flame, to be with my twin flame, to be together, that's the purpose. Switch from that perspective to the perspective that my soul is evolving through this experience. I am growing. I am remembering who I am. I am freeing myself from all that isn't working, that isn't helping me be who I should be, who I came to be. So that switch, I don't know, just try it. But to me, it has been like life-changing, because I remember when I started experiencing, when I found my twin flame. Well, I re-encountered my twin flame because we have met before, but it was 15 years ago that we met again, and I started feeling his soul, and it was very, very hard, because it was I just couldn't understand what was going on. So that took me on that journey to search for answers. There wasn't anything at that moment about twin flames. There wasn't all that there is now. So that brought me like to read everything I could read, to find help. And I remember one of the guides it was a person that guided me on this process. This person didn't know anything about twin flame, but this person knew that this was about evolving, because I remember what she told me. She said, have you noticed what a great gift you have received? Have you noticed how your soul is trying to teach you about all of this metaphysics, about your spiritual part through love? Have you noticed that? Have you noticed what a great gift that is? And in that moment, I could feel my vibration like increase. It's like, wow, yeah, that's an amazing gift. Of course, that was a long time. I didn't have all the tools I have now, and then I would get lost again on, oh, but I want to be together with this person, and I would forget the evolution part of the deal. Even though I knew it wasn't about just that. It was so much bigger than us, so much bigger than this person and me. I could tell, but the physical part was this, and this should be like this, right? So when you do the work, you can finally get rid of all that and then stand from your soul's point of view and really understand what this is all about, and be better. Because once I've done that, I feel so much better. It wasn't an easy path because there wasn't much out there, so it's like I've been having to find I had to search for the answers myself everywhere, because it wasn't easy. And actually that's why I talk about this. Well, I have been talking about this for like 7 years, but in Spanish, and now I'm starting to share this information in English. So this is actually my first video about twin flames in English. So I wanted to share this. I think it's important because it changes everything. Change that perspective, make that switch from purposes, or if you make that switch, it's gonna make a big difference. So I wanted to share that, and I hope it helps you. And I hope you can make that switch and stop the suffering and focus on yourself and on bringing all that love to you. When you are vibrating that love, you will attract that love. It doesn't have to be difficult if we have the right tools to heal ourselves. And so, well, I hope this that I have shared helps you, and that will be all for today. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video. Till next time.